I've walked into one of the children's classrooms this morning at the church building, and I saw this message on the board behind me that says, "You are God's masterpiece." And as I considered that, I thought, well, what can I use to explore this a little bit further? And of course, I found some Play-Doh, some children's Play-Doh. And who doesn't love some Play-Doh, right? Where you can play with it, you can work it, you can do what you want with it, and you can be the master potter. You can create whatever you want. And it reminds me of Jeremiah chapter 18, where God calls Jeremiah to go to the potter's house. And as he goes to the potter's house, he sees this potter that is working with the clay, working with the material, but as the potter continues to work with the clay, it spoils and it doesn't quite turn into what he wants it to be. So instead, what the potter does is he reworks that clay and he remolds it and he gets it to the point where he can work with it again, and he creates a vessel that the text says pleases him. And so what God says to the Israelites through Jeremiah in Jeremiah 18 verse 6 is, "Can I not, O house of Israel, deal with you as the potter does?" And what he's saying is, "Behold, like the clay in the potter's hand, so are you in my hand, O house of Israel." He says, you have spoiled. You are that spoiled clay, Israel. But I can rework you. I can remold you into my masterpiece once again. And the same is true with us today. You see, we've done atrocities. We've committed all kinds of sin, and God can work with us. He can remold us through his Son, Jesus Christ. You see, the sacrifice of Jesus, boy, it does a lot of things for us. But one of those is it washes the sins away. It cleanses us and allows God to remold us and make us into his masterpiece, to be reconciled to him. And as I consider my skills as a master potter, it's not very good. But I've made a little plate here. That's about the best of my abilities with Play-Doh. But God can do so much more than what I can do with Play-Doh. He makes you into the person that he desires you to be. A person that is beautiful, that is wonderful, that has had their sins washed away and forgiven. A person that he can use to do wonderful things in this world, to share the gospel with people who need to hear it. You are the clay. God is the potter. The question is, are you allowing God to mold you into who he wants you to be?